I think we've got the industry has become this twisted giant of money making production, which has then produced this AI problem of people trying to do things so fast instead of focusing on the art,
Yep.
and then they're just ripe and open to scams
Right.
because we have AI that's incredibly good at stroking their ego and pointing them towards things that are fake.
Everybody, we are here with the illustrious guest, Angela Hoy from Writers Weekly. We are so excited to be talking to you guys today. So this is Pros Talking Pros, and we actually have some real good pros here today. So I'm really excited about this. It's not just us two yahoos or yahoos.
Yahoos.
Yuhas.
I don't know.
I haven't had enough Dutch bros. Hold on.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway, so today we're gonna just chat and kind of go off the seat of our pants, but we are gonna talk a little bit about Amazon, because we love to talk about things that piss us off, and AI, and kind of the future of publishing, and how we see this kind of the trends coming up. And Angela is the woman, the myth, the legend to talk about that. I'm gonna introduce our lovely Angela Hoy. She's been around the publishing industry long enough to know where the bodies are buried.
That's true.
Yeah. She's the author of over 26 books. Impressive, considering I can't even get one out. And she's behind writersweekly.com. She's the president of Book Locker as well. And just so you know, if you want to check out some amazing articles, you should be subscribed to Writers Weekly. It is fantastic, and I'm totally behind what these guys are doing over there. So the writing is stellar, and they are uncovering scandal after scandal after scandal. Or, if they could, they would. She's been bringing books to market for over 27 years. So it's safe to say that Angela knows what the flop she is talking about. Her team has also spent decades doing some of the most, something most publishing professionals avoid, and that's they're publicly exposing scams in the writing and publishing world. This is why she will forever be in my new site where I worship people, whatever we call that, that shrine.
Your little
under my
altar
stairs.
shrine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So she will point the finger and not be afraid to say they're the ones. So I love that about her.
Yes.
Her recent oh, go ahead.
Some of her text scams too are hilarious. If you follow her on Facebook, the romance scammers and stuff like that. Like, I like to mess with these people myself, but I usually don't put it on Facebook. Every now and then I do. But some of the ones Angela puts on Facebook are hilarious.
Oh my gosh, Angela, you and I could talk. I mean, because there's a romance scammer thing that I was watching on like a true crime podcast the other day, and it was like, it blew my mind. I cannot believe what these people go to, the lengths they go to. But yeah, so cool. Good on you. But some of her recent investigations are surrounding AI and Amazon's growth influence, and they've landed her some interviews with some major outlets, including the Associated Press and The Guardian. So that's pretty amazing as well. So in short, Angela, she doesn't just publish books. She keeps a close eye on the publishing industry. So that is something that we love here at Print to Pro and Pros Talking Pros. So we appreciate having you here today, Angela.
Well, thank you for having me. I was excited to be here.
Yeah. Troy told me a lot about you. He's like, really talked you up. So
thanks.
Well, let's first start with how long have you been exposing scams? Is this something new, or is this something you've been doing for a long, long time?
Actually, it started at the very beginning of Writers Weekly, which Writers Weekly is in its 28th year now, if I've done the math correctly. And it was originally writers writing to me and saying, this magazine owes me this much money. Can you help me get my money back? And I'm like, well, sure. And I never charged writers anything to do it, but I really enjoyed it because, the power of the pen, the power of journalism, and almost 100% of the time I was able to quickly get the writers their money, just by
Wow.
sending a threatening email saying, hey, we've been told you owe this person this much money, and we would love to give you lots of exposure on Writers Weekly.
Wow.
You gonna
Cool.
send that money or what? Now, I never said pay or else, because they would pay and I would still expose them for putting the writers through that. So
Mhm.
that was how
Yeah.
it was in the beginning. And then it morphed into my book publisher went out of business and they're still selling my book on Amazon and they're keeping all the money. Or my book publisher is still in business, but they haven't sent me royalties in 3 years or something. Or,
Oh my gosh.
and then
Mhm.
most recently, and this has been going on for a couple of years now, the explosion, thousands of websites for fake publishing companies that are
Oh,
taking authors' money and not publishing their books. And they just keep hitting up authors for more and more money. Like our first 2 episodes of our podcast, which we recorded about a year ago, were get published in just $1.99, in just $2.99, in just $3.99. First of
mhm,
all, getting your book edited, formatted, cover design, never going to happen for that price, not even close, any of those prices.
mhm.
So it was the bait and switch. Oh,
Yeah.
it gets better. Oh, you wanted words on your cover? Well, that was just for a background image. So that's going to cost you an extra $600. Yeah, we've heard that
Oh
a lot.
no.
Oh, did
There are
you?
so many people that I have talked to that, like, I had one client that come to me, oh gosh, it was two years ago now. And yeah, it was $30,000 that they
Yeah.
charged him to publish his book. 30.
And
I
it's
was
it's
horrified.
it's piecemeal. They
Mm-hmm.
lure you in with that rock bottom price. It's impossible, and you keep paying. It's like the old lottery scam or the Nigerian prince scam where,
Yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
if you want the money you won, you're gonna have to pay this much. Oh, now there's all these licenses and fees. It's the exact same type of scam, except they're preying on authors' egos.
Their
Mhm.
heart.
And yeah, and they're great.
Yeah.
They've destroyed a lot of authors' careers because authors just don't even want to write anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
so there was oh, you want words on your cover? Okay, that's an extra 600. Oh, did you know you have to buy an author's license, otherwise it's illegal for you to publish a book? That's 6,000. There's no such thing, okay? No such
Right.
thing. I know.
I had one publisher
Oh,
tell one of my clients that they had to purchase an ASIN.
Right.
yeah.
I was
You
like,
have to
no,
purchase your ASINs.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no.
so they've come up with this laundry list of things, and they keep sucking money out of authors. And of course,
Oh
no book ever
man.
gets published. Keep sucking money out of authors until the authors either figure out they've been scammed or they run out of money. I heard from an
Yeah.
elderly gentleman on Saturday who we have a spreadsheet of almost 3,000 of these websites.
Oh,
We
I think you published it, didn't you? Because there's a
well,
big list recently that you published where it was like an A to Z list.
yeah, and I'll
What is
send you
that?
the link to that if you want to post it
Yeah,
underneath the podcast.
I'll put it in here. Hmm.
However, the problem is so large now, we don't have the manpower to put all those websites on the list. So at the
Hmm.
top of that article, there's a checklist, and it's
Yeah.
11 things you can do to see if you're about to get scammed or if this publisher or publishing service provider is a scammer. And you probably need to look at only number 1 to prove if they're a scammer or not. And
Yeah.
that's researching the covers and see if they stole the covers from other publishers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was kind of blown away that people were even doing that, but I guess now I guess nothing really surprises me anymore in this business. Like it's
Well,
just
yeah.
amazing to me.
There
they're
are also
throwing these
marketing
websites.
sites
I'm sorry,
that
go
I've
ahead.
seen, and the author names on them are fake. Like you
Yeah,
go look on Amazon, there's no author by that name anywhere. And they're like, we
right.
helped this author sell millions of books. And I'm like, where?
What
Where
author?
did you help
Yeah.
them sell millions of books? I
And
don't
how
see
they're
this
doing
name
this
anywhere.
is they use AI to throw up
Hmm.
these websites, dozens at a time.
Hmm.
If you look at a bunch of them, they're very similar in design and style. They're not exactly, but very similar. In that list of 11 things, it shows things to watch out for. If it has this, it's a scammer. If it's got that, it's a scammer. Like the horizontal list of major media logos that
Yeah.
they've stolen, and they've
Hmm.
never been featured on those. None of their authors have ever been featured there. There
Yeah.
was one we got the other day because I've been working with attorney James M. Walsh on this.
Yeah.
I met him. He and his co-author were scammed. and he's a lawyer.
Oh.
So I was on Facebook one day and I was chasing the scammers and posting nasty things about him and everything and playing with him. And I noticed there was another guy doing the same thing. So I'm like, hey, I should team up with this guy. So I sent
Yeah.
him a private message and he thought I was a scammer.
Well, it's because we get contacted by them too. I mean, Troy
Yeah.
and I get contacted left and right from people like, "Hey, we can make your YouTube channel just really explode." I'm like, I don't want to even talk to you.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing, all the
Yeah.
spam emails and the spam
Yeah.
coming through social media. But I told him, I said, hey, dude, you're chasing down the publishing scammers. So am I. Let's team up.
It's
And then
awesome.
it took him, he researched me and then realized I was serious. And ever since then, he has helped countless authors pro bono who've
Oh,
been
wow.
scammed or who are about to get scammed. So he and I got an email on Saturday from an elderly gentleman who it was one of the scammers on our spreadsheet. He paid them $39,000 and he's
Oof.
out of money. Now he's destitute, he said.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my
We've heard
gosh.
from there was one who we connected with the Associated Press. He went for the fake book to movie deal. And again, we've covered
Mm,
that kind of scam all over Writers
that
Weekly.
is, I had a client get hit with that one just yesterday.
Yeah, and he paid over $1 million.
Oh,
Oh.
oh my
Yep.
heart. Oh my
Because
heart.
they kept telling him, you're going to make 60 million in money, you know, when it hits the big screen, you're going to make that much money. Over $1 million. Yeah. And we can't stop the websites from going up. They're too
Mm-mm.
fast. All we can do is educate people. And we've had several guests
Mm-hmm.
on our podcast, the Writers Weekly podcast, that were actual victims and teaching other authors how it
Oh
works
my
so that
gosh.
they hopefully won't get scammed. And then you got the people who don't even get me started on this, who write to me and say, hey, uh, I think I'm about to get scammed, or I have been scammed. And when I tell them, yes, you got scammed, and here's how, and here's what you can do to try to get your money back, which almost never happens, by the way,
Right.
or don't use that person. And they'll either send me 3 or 4 other websites to research for them. That's another reason I put up that 11 list of 11 things, because people are asking me I got a regular job too, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
then they're the ones that been scammed. I explained to them exactly how they were scammed, and then they argue with me claiming they weren't scammed.
Yeah.
And
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that
I
too.
yeah.
I was just going to say, I had a client come to me and say, can you help me craft this thing, because this person that I'm talking to has asked me to change these things about my manuscript so they can make it into a script. And I said, oh, how much are they? And she goes, well, once I'm done with this, for only $80,000,
Uh,
they will create a script for me. And I said, no, I'm not helping you do that, because they're just going to take your money. And she said, oh no, they have the era of producers in Hollywood. They're going to make this into a movie. They say my book is perfect for a movie. I go, they always say your book is perfect for a movie. That's
Now
their
with
job.
now with
And she
AI,
literally told me I was wrong. It was hilarious. It
before
was like,
it
oh
was
God.
probably interesting, but like of course these have evolved, but like 2 years ago I remember getting calls from people and it was really easy to spot that it was a scam, right? It was easy because there was very little information that they shared except that of the title and maybe what was in the blurb, right? But now with AI, they're doing these scans of the books, or they're giving a more in-depth synopsis. So they're thinking, "Oh my gosh, he actually read my book," and you're
yeah.
like, "No, he didn't. He didn't read your book." I mean, I can't believe how many times I have to tell my clients. I mean, literally, just yesterday, I was like, "Stop it! Just throw the email away." I know it's hard because you feel like, oh my gosh, somebody likes me. They really like me, Mikey, but they don't.
Well, Angela, so let me ask you about this one, because this one is one like I get them a lot, and I know a lot of authors that get them, and that's the book club scam.
Oh,
We
yeah.
want your book for our book club of this many thousands of people, and all you have to do is pay us this much money.
Hmm.
And then they will all read your book and love it, and it'll go viral and
Right.
stuff like that.
Now
Like,
they are
are
also using AI. So
mm-hmm.
I talked about this on one of our podcasts. I wrote the emergency divorce handbook for women forever ago. Okay, that
Oh,
was my
wow.
first
Okay.
marriage. So let's see. And 30 years ago, I don't know. Anyway, I'm on my third now. Um,
Congratulations.
So you've
Thanks.
used your guide a couple times.
I know, right?
I could have used it a couple times myself. So thank you so much. Anyway,
So
go ahead.
I went into AI, I can't remember which one, and I said, send a complimentary email to Angela Hoy about her book, The Emergency Divorce Handbook for Women. Click, boom, all over the screen. This
Oh
like
my
3-paragraph, beautiful description of my book.
gosh.
And of course, it looks like they read it, but it's all AI. So those fake book clubs, first of all, your listeners need to realize they all come from a Gmail email address.
Yeah.
Okay, almost all of them. Real book clubs that have real websites, they use their own domain for their email address. Okay,
And they're
so
.org, .org, .coms or .net.
.edu.
Yeah, .edus.
yeah, it's not gmail.com. And it starts out with, some of them are really lazy, like, I saw your book and I liked it. Okay.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of them are extremely, yeah, some of them are extremely detailed, and they really think, oh man, this book club's gonna talk about my book and post reviews online. And they make it looks like it's gonna be a free service. It's not.
Right.
One of them said, I've got 400 people in my book club, and you need to pay each of them a $20 tip.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
so, yeah, and
Yeah.
so they don't talk about money right at the beginning, but if you respond to even one of those emails, you will never stop getting emails from a variety of scammers, because a lot of them are part of a global
Network.
publishing scam consortium. And once you respond to a phone call, an email, something on social media, they will never leave you alone, and they will pretend to be different companies. And God forbid if you send anybody money,
Oh
then
gosh.
And then you'll
then it just
never hear the end of it.
because
Never.
your chances of getting scammed, if you've been scammed once, your chances are much higher of being scammed again, because it takes a certain, I'm not saying people that are scam victims are stupid, because a lot of them are very smart. Again, James Walsh, the attorney we work with, he and his co-author were scammed. And it was a foreign company called Publishing Mojo. We had a lot of fun with them.
Yeah, I've heard about
I've actually
this.
heard about Publishing Mojo. I've actually heard about that one.
We had so much fun with them, because they were usually, the scammers they don't even bother contacting us. But when they do contact us and they put little legalese in there, we just love to give them even more exposure on our website. It's just awesome.
Oh yeah.
We went back and forth. So the last time they contacted us, I published the entire exchange on our website. And of course, you can tell we were having a lot of fun with it. But since they wasted my time that day, I did more digging and found even more things about them. They'd been sued by, I think, GoDaddy, somebody else. They were in trademark infringement. They had a variety of websites and everything. And so I just threw more stuff up there. And then now they leave us alone. So they don't waste my time anymore. But we heard from another Publishing Mojo victim just last week, and I put him in contact with James, because that's the company that scammed him and his co-author.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
They're very
That is
slick.
amazing.
They're really some of them are very, very slick, and but it is funny, like some of them is at the very beginning you just go, by the way, I'm not going to give you any money. I just I'll reply to some of their emails and be like, I am not going to pay for any of your services.
Good call.
Beyond providing you with books for your book club readers to read, I will not pay you for any of your services. And 99% of the time, I don't get any reply after that. Because, they've already set, they want money.
I want to cover one thing that you mentioned there, Angela, was you brought up the trademark infringement. What's interesting to me about that is that a lot of these companies, they will impersonate well-known movie studios, well-known companies that when you Google those things, they look legit because they've got reputations that are, and actually they sound really, I guess, reputable because they've been around a long time. One in particular was Global Television Network. One thing that that was the one that my client got contacted by. It was, oh my gosh, it's the Global Television Network. They want to interview me for one of their TV shows. They just want me to pay $19,000. I'm like, listen,
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm like, listen,
Yeah,
if
that's the other one.
if any television station, movie station, podcast reaches out to you and says, we want you to pay to be on our podcast or our television show or whatever, it's immediately a red flag scam, because you have to know they want content. So if they're reaching out to you, they're 9 times out of 10, they're going to pay you or make it easy for you to get there because you're providing content for their show. If they're asking you to pay them, you're
It's a
done.
scam.
Oh,
It's a scam. It's
yeah,
a
that
scam.
one's super common. There was one that I got that it listed an address in LA. So I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
it was one of the movie rights ones, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really interesting. And it was a really popular book of mine. So I thought, well, let me research this. And I researched the address in LA, and there's no company by that name at that address. Like, it's
Yeah.
really easy to just take, but I mean,
One
it
step. One
looks
step.
really legit. But you
Yeah.
take
Just
one
but
step, and I go,
Google.
no way. That's not.
Unfortunately, the way, especially like the movie fake book to movie scams,
Mm-hmm.
they use the letterhead from the actual company.
Mm-hmm.
They use the actual address on the letterhead. They will even put the company's website, but it's not clickable in the email.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you
Mm-hmm.
click reply, you'll see that
It's
they
a
have
Gmail.
slightly altered. Sometimes it's Gmail, but the movie ones, fake movie ones, they're a little more sophisticated. If you click reply, it will be something slightly different. For example,
Mm-hmm.
Fox Media
Yeah.
author, one of our authors, he's an author of 6 or 7 books. Not going to give his name.
No.
He was contacted by Fox Media, and he was connected with Fox, the fake Fox guy, okay, connected him
Yeah.
with a fake literary agent who connected him with a fake screenwriter, okay? They're all three the same person, okay?
Yeah.
They went so
Mm.
far as to have a Zoom meeting with him.
Oh my
He had a
gosh.
Zoom meeting with the
Mm-hmm.
Fox guy, and the Fox guy's a real dude, but this was an impersonator. The AI made it look exactly like him, and even his
Mm.
mouth moved correctly,
Oh
and it
my
was a
gosh.
fake
The
guy.
deep fake was like strong with
Yeah,
that,
it
huh?
was
Ooh,
incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's terrifying.
he said he really thought it was real because when he previously got offered a movie deal by somebody else, he said it was some foreign guy and his mouth never moved when he was talking to me. I said, "Oh, well, AI's come way farther in the past 4 weeks." It's just gotten
Yeah,
Oh
really
my
exactly. You're
gosh.
scary.
exactly right. Yeah,
But
I
all
mean, they
his
Yeah.
advertise it
correspondence,
with AI where basically you can change the image. Like, I could change my image right now to being someone else. My mouth would move. It might
mhm,
even change my voice to a feminine voice. The technology is amazing, which has some incredible downsides for
Yeah.
but I mean, for the scammers, it's some incredible upsides. Um,
Yeah.
it's just incredible
My
what they can
client,
do.
they did a Zoom call yesterday. That was the global television. They went as far as having a Zoom call with the poor guy. And oh my gosh, I felt like I was ripping his heart out and stomping on it when I told him it was a scam because he was
yeah,
so excited about it. But it's so dirty. It's funny. I have a guy, one of my clients also. He's pretty prolific. I think he has probably about he's like not probably as well written as you, Troy, but he's probably got about 15 or so published books. And his latest book, we worked really hard on and put it out. And this is about 2023. And I remember the Lionsgate notification that he got. It's from Lionsgate Studios. It was actually, they mailed him a letter. Oh my gosh, it came through
mhm,
snail mail. It was signed Nathan Kahane or whatever, however you pronounce his name, who was the president of Lionsgate at the time. And it blew my mind. I was like really excited about it, because I was like, oh my gosh, one of the books I edited is going to be picked up. Like I was totally excited. And then when I went and did the deep dive, because I have to do the deep dive, right? Like I was so excited. But then when I went in and I was like, oh, freak, this is a well-known scam. This guy is literally just it's a fake. It's fake. I was so
Yeah.
sad. But it was, I feel like it's really easy to prey on these people because their hearts are so knitted to the work that they do, right? Like this is something that we're so passionate about. It's like you're putting your whole heart and soul into these books. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, blood, sweat, tears. We all say this, but it's true. And then when these people come along and say, "Yeah, we really like you and we want to do something with you," it's really hard not to be swept up in that. So if you're an author
Mhm.
who's within the sound of my voice that has been scammed, or that you feel like this is just really depressing, I want you to know you're not alone, but it's not uncommon for you to be scammed or to be swindled by these people, because we all want that
Yeah.
feeling of being liked. And so
Well, they're playing on author hope.
yeah,
Young authors especially, have so much hope that, like, my book is just going to go out there and it's going to be discovered because it's so great.
and I'm going
Like
to
the
be the
guy I
next
talked to a couple of
JK.
weeks ago, where he
Mhm.
basically, like, he sent me this horrible cover that I don't know where he got, and
Yeah.
this ideas for this manuscript, and he wanted all these special things with formatting because he was going to be a New York Times bestseller and a Hugo Award winner. And he told me this in his email, and I said, "What's your marketing plan?" And he said, "Marketing plan?" And I went, "Okay." So I'm
Let's
not
start at the
sure
beginning. Reel
how
them
you're
in.
going
Like,
how
let's
you're
get you some
going to
education
get
here.
a Hugo Award without a lot of people reading your book. But I don't know, maybe it's possible. But a New York Times bestseller, you really have to sell lots of books. Like, you have a plan for
Yeah,
that. I
and you
mean,
have to have like a launch strategy that's really in place before it even
and I felt
launches.
the same way as Stacy. I'm like, I'm ripping this poor man's heart out and stomping on it with high heels, and I don't want to, but I cannot let him go out into the world thinking that this is going to produce the results that he wants. You
Troy, I
know, it's
cannot imagine you in stilettos.
well,
Well, maybe I
I'm
can get
not
AI to
going
give you that
to.
though.
Do
It's
it.
possible. It's
That's going to
possible.
be on the thumbnail for our thing, is
That'll be on the
Yeah.
thumbnail for this. Is
Troy,
me in, like,
Troy and stilettos.
in stilettos. That'll be great.
That's awesome.
Um,
But
We're getting a
yeah.
lot of reports from authors, the fake Sony pictures. Now,
Oh
mhm,
yeah.
I compared the fake Sony Pictures contract with the fake Fox Media contract.
And
So Troy, you said they're playing on authors' hope. They're also playing on their ego, of course,
mm-hmm.
mhm,
and greed. So if you look at, and we have the $50,000 fake Fox thing. We've got an article about that on Writers Weekly, and it's got the contract in there. We put the contract in there, and
Oh
it's
great.
like,
Okay, good.
well, you just pay us this much money, and you're going to make this many millions back. And the numbers are very it looks real. It really looks
Mm-hmm.
like a real contract, and of course it's not. And if people think, well, if I just put up, $50,000, if I'm going to make 60 million in the next 2 years, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it.
mhm.
And the
Yeah.
And
poor
I
Fox
mean,
guy
comes
was
with that lack of understanding of how the movie industry actually works.
and the book
exactly.
industry. It,
And the
yeah.
publishing industry, and it's one of those things that I'm so big on education.
Mm-hmm.
Just, and that's one of the things I appreciate about Writers Weekly, is it's about
Yeah.
education. Like, we're pulling away the curtain and going, okay, this is not how filmmaking works.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen King did not put up $50,000 to make it, and
Mm-hmm.
and then he made back millions. No, they came to him. They optioned his book for a script. They paid him
Probably,
money.
and it was
You
probably
know,
pitched by an agent too. I mean, we could probably go into that process and find out what really happened, but I doubt it was like a letter
yeah,
from Sony in his mailbox that said, "Hey, we like your book."
Well,
Um,
what we keep telling authors is it doesn't work that way.
mm-mm,
Movie
mm-mm,
companies have their own screenwriters. They don't
mm-hmm,
charge an author to write a screenplay. It just
no,
not does not happen that way. And
mm-hmm.
a
no,
lot of these they first reel them in. Well, we need a screenplay in order to approach the head of the company, but you got to pay for that. Not how it works.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and the other thing is, like, a lot of the scam emails will be from the president of the company. Well, the president of Lionsgate does not
I
email
know, right?
you
Right?
about a
I don't.
movie deal,
I don't know,
regardless of
Troy.
how big you are. Regardless.
Excuse me. I edited the book. I mean,
Oh,
like.
well, then that explains it all, clearly. I mean, I'm like, it's
Come
just,
on.
but I mean, I don't. Here's the thing. I'm like you, Angela. Like, I know these people are not stupid. I work with these people who are
Yeah,
very,
they're
very intelligent,
brilliant. Yeah.
but they just have this hope of discovery, and this hope and this pride, and also kind of the greed. Stacy and I talked about this the other day. How we've started commoditizing our writing before it's even done.
Yeah.
And so we're so focused on the money that we've forgotten the reason we're creating it is because it's art. And then if wonderful money things happen, that's great. But I think we've got the industry has become this twisted giant of money making production, which has then produced this AI problem of people trying to do things so fast instead of focusing on the art. And then they're just ripe and open to scams,
Right.
because we have AI that's incredibly good at stroking their ego and pointing them towards things that are fake.
Yeah.
It's anyway, yeah.
It's crazy.
Y'all want to? So I told you at the beginning, I think before you started recording, that I don't put my face online anymore because I get so many death threats, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So one day, and I get a lot, and not just for our
I'm
advocacy work,
sorry.
over a couple of controversial books I wrote. So one day, our dog, we got a big dog. His name's Tank because he pees a lot. So, so Tank is going nuts in the front yard. I walk out front, and there's a guy standing in my yard who, for lack of a better, doesn't look like he came from around these parts. Okay.
Oh dear.
I walked up to him. I had Tank right there. I walked up to him. I couldn't pronounce the name on his name tag, and I went, "Oh, they found me." Because the most of the scammers are in Pakistan or Nigeria.
Oh
okay?
yeah.
I'm like, oh, this guy looked like he was from Pakistan. Okay, so I'm like, oh, okay, today's my last day on earth. They found me. He said, I'm here to install your new meter. I'm with Georgia Power.
Oh my gosh. And I hope that was, I hope that wasn't a scam, but yeah, like honestly, yeah. Like that is crazy.
So does that funny happen? But I do have carry and conceal license.
Me too.
The pictures of me online are pretty old. And I'm a grandma now and everything. So I don't think anybody would really recognize me, but still I'm not taking any chances because
I wouldn't either.
We just had a new grandchild 3 weeks ago. His name's Luke.
Oh, happy grandbaby.
He's adorable. Yeah.
I can't wait till I have that.
So we've been exposing scammers for years and years. I had a woman, her name was Martha Ivory. She ended up going to jail. She thought my last name meant that I was Japanese, and she called me Jap Mother, you know what? And she was going to fly to Maine, and because she was a professional boxer, and she's going to beat me up and everything.
Well,
and I mean, I've had all these
a federal crime.
hilarious encounters. So guess how many times I've been sued?
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine.
27.
Nope. 1.
Oh, good for you.
It was a guy who was going to colleges saying, I'm going to hire all these writers to write chapters about your college, and I'll print a bunch of books and ship them to you. And he would collect money up front from the colleges. It was like a marketing type book for each college.
Sounds kind of like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't paying his writers.
Okay,
so
there we go.
I started getting all these reports. He also apparently wasn't delivering any books to the colleges. He would send them one copy, right? So he was in California. He was declared a vexatious litigator in California. That means he filed so many lawsuits. It was just ridiculous. He was just, harassing people. Then he had to move to Arizona so he could start filing lawsuits again. And he sued us. We got it thrown out of court. And he was ordered to pay our legal fees.
Good.
It was like $10,000, $12,000. I can't remember. However, we never were able to collect because shortly thereafter, he was arrested for aggravated DUI and both his kids in the car with him.
Oh no.
So pretty sure he went to the pokey, and we never got our money back. But when we get these lawsuit threats, I'm very clear. I'm like, I'm going to publicize this. I'm going to publicize everything. And they, they back away. We also sued Amazon in 2008 and we won.
Yeah. So Troy tells me that is a nice feather in your cap. Can you tell everybody about what that was about?
Briefly, they were contacting me and all of our competitors and saying, pay us to print your books or we're going to take your books off our website. That was violation of the Sherman Act and antitrust violation as well. So I was interviewed. I wrote about it in Writers Weekly, and I was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, and then I was contacted by a law firm, and they said, you got a case. It took 2 years. lots of nights sleep loss, lots of lost sleep.
Oh yeah, going to
Uh,
court is not
several new
fun.
gray hairs because we got a behind the scenes look at how Amazon really does business. And they
Wow.
were threatening to countersue me. I'm like, for what? It was a mess. Anyway, they ended up settling, and
Yeah.
we wanted to make a point to everyone. We didn't sue Amazon to make money. We sued Amazon to stop them from putting all of these publishers out of business. I talked to all of our competitors at the time. John Ingram at Ingram Book Company called me on the
Yeah.
phone. He was the head of Ingram at the time. He was an older fellow, to thank
Mm-hmm.
me on behalf of the entire industry. And
Wonderful.
we said, so lawyer called me one day. I was standing on the sidewalk. My kid was with a tutor or some tutoring class or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he called and he said, we won. I started jumping up and down the sidewalk because it was finally over. He said, they're going to pay all your legal fees, which are over 300,000 at that time. And he
Good.
said, how much money do you want? I said, I don't want a dime. I don't want a penny, because we did this for the entire industry, not for ourselves and not to make money.
Angela, that is really amazing. That just gave me goosebumps. That makes
And
me so happy
honestly,
inside.
whatever we could have asked for is just a drop in the bucket for Amazon anyway.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I
yeah,
was
the
just
that
glad
is
it was over.
amazing. Yeah.
That's
I
why
would have
they
been
would
glad
have
it was
given
over
it to
too.
you. They
Yeah.
would have given you pretty much anything you asked for, because it's a drop in the bucket to them and it's not going to hurt them at all.
Yeah, but still, what a little
that's-
underhanded, little sneaky. And you know what? Honestly, that just confirms. I mean, if anybody out there is like wondering, I mean, I have this conversation at least 15 times a week, but just yesterday, I got a client that emailed me again. And I think I say this till I'm blue in my face, but I'm like, Amazon treats people differently. They treats indie authors differently than it does the trad publishers. And it treats it treats different small presses differently than it does big presses. And so you need to understand that when you put your book in there, you have no leverage. There's no pull. You have no control. It's Amazon, the store is just going to run it the way it runs it. And it's nepotistic in nature. And it really is all about it's a pay to play, platform. And you don't have enough money to sway them to make any changes or make your book any more noticeable than, Susan Collins. Like it's the way it works. So people get so frustrated with that, but it's just the way it is. But your lawsuit and the fact that they were trying to get your press to pay to, it totally confirms that. Like, that those larger presses just said, okay. And they paid.
Many of our competitors, they capitulated to Amazon. And I was begging them, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
And I said, if we go out of business fighting Amazon, okay, I'm not letting Amazon tell me how to run my company and force me to pay them.
Yeah. It just
because
confirms that whole idea.
Precedent.
Yeah.
And they're still stuck with that contract with Amazon.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
And I'm sure that's why
clearly are.
The big presses
are clearly paying to play so that their books rise to the top of the stack.
Exactly.
There's no other explanation for it, really.
Now, y'all have heard about, we tell all authors to avoid Amazon KDP because there are so many problems, and they are terminating authors left and right and keeping their unpaid royalties.
Yep,
I got another message today. It's actually, I belong to a private publishers group where it's all my competitors and everything, and we're all, And this guy wrote in and said he was using KDP and they terminated his account, and for no reason. They can't tell him. They won't tell him.
I've had a couple clients that happened to them.
We are seeing more and more of that. I've written, I think, 4 or 5 articles about it on Writers Weekly. Well, I haven't written them. I wrote one article, and we've got articles from victims, Amazon KDP victims, explaining what happened to them. But you try to log into your account one day, all of a sudden,
and it's gone.
You can't log in.
Gone.
They say your account's been terminated, and based on the KDP contract, if they terminate your account for any reason,
you're banned.
Any reason they state, they get to keep your unpaid royalties, which is 2 months worth, 60
and
days.
You can, it's like they say it's 60 days, right? Or 60 days or 90 days. But it was 60. Funny because 60, because I remember my client, she's like, how do I then remove my book from their platform? I'm like, you can't, because they've closed your account. You
Yeah.
literally can't. So the only thing you can do is now publish on Ingram and then just drive traffic to your website, sell direct, but that's okay because that's the way. I mean, honestly, people, you have to understand, like, I realize that Amazon is the biggest bully in the playground, but that will change. Eventually people will stop using them to sell their books. And we're seeing this more and more and more, right? The trends are going to these micro communities, like you said, Troy. So it's much more focused on like supporting the author, get away from these big conglomerate companies that are just using authors. I mean, literally, guys, if you think about it this way, it's paid slavery, because what you're doing is you're giving them your stuff and they're using it to make money. Like, it's like, why? Because you don't get any, you're getting this much and they're getting this much, and you get to say, oh, yay, I'm selling my book. Except that, you're not, you don't get to know who your customers are. You don't get to know anything about what's going on. You don't even know, you don't even know where in the country they're buying your book from. You have nothing, no control. So why are we doing it that way?
You were talking about Amazon treating traditional publishers better than, midline publishers, and treating, of course, authors are the bottom of the barrel. And so authors get kicked off of Amazon, KDP, and then they come and use BookLocker. And then we list their book with Amazon, and there's no problems at all, because that author was just a tiny speck of sand on the beach. And we have thousands of books on Amazon, and Amazon doesn't mess with us like that. Well, they learned their lesson back in 2008, but whatever was wrong with that book that Amazon claimed, of course, the repeated complaints are, they won't tell me what I did wrong. Right. They won't tell me what I did wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we upload the books, we republish the book, new ISBN, new everything, put it on Amazon. No problems.
No problems.
No
I know.
From Amazon at all.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Like I said, I had that client that did that. That one client, she ended up republishing, and she did the same thing, and no problems. No problems. Yeah. I remember I wrote an article when this happened. It was about the time, it was 2 years ago. Remember, Troy and we were doing a conference. Troy and I were doing a conference at the time, and I was so stressed out. And that was a whole fiasco in and of itself. But at the time, I had put some clients on the back burner and gotten fired by one of them because I had put them off too long. It was my fault. I totally deserved it. But at that time, that next morning, I go to a conference, and I'm supposed to be this perky little, I was emceeing the damn event, and I'm up there on the stage, and I'm trying to be perky. And it was so funny because I was standing on stage, and like, someone snapped a picture of me, and I looked like death was coming. Like, he was in the room, and he was going to take me. And it was because I'd just been fired, and that morning, 2 of my clients called me and says, I can't find my book on Amazon. Like, it is gone. And I did not know what had happened. And I was like, it was funny because I'm standing there in front of a room full of authors and thinking, I want to quit right now. I'm going to quit this job. I'm going to walk away. Like, what am I doing in this publishing industry? It was one of the weirdest moments. I'm glad I stuck it out, because it's one of those things where you kind of have to, I mean, and Troy and I talk about this all the time, and I'm sure, Angela, you feel the same way because of what you do. But really, what we do in this business is specifically geared for saving authors. We want to save authors from, and if we walk away, who do they have, right?
Who's
if we
walk
away, who's going to do it?
Who's going to do it?
There's too many big companies and too many people willing to take advantage of these authors. And I mean, there are many of them. I mean, I would love to talk to you, Angela, about there's a editor out there right now that she's getting a lot of flack on the internet. Oh, I can't remember her name, but holy crap, the socials are killing her, and she deserves it because she's a scammer. She's just out there scamming people as an editor. And I'm like horrified that these people are out there charging thousands and thousands of dollars for mediocre to zero experience and service. And it's like, what do you don't have any industry knowledge. You don't know what you're doing. You're not backed by any organizations. You don't support or, align yourself with, those companies that are specifically geared towards protecting authors. And so, there's so many so many things that are wrong with these people. And it's so hard to just get your voice out there to every author, because it seems like every person out there is an aspiring author, and they, again, go down that Google wormhole and get it's seduced by some company that says, oh, just pay us $1,500 and we will help you publish your book, and it's just
Unfortunately, anybody can
awful.
put up a website or a shingle on the internet and call
Mhm.
themselves an editor. And a lot of those, and again, look for the Gmail email addresses.
Yep.
A
Yep.
lot of them are just running a book through AI
Yeah.
and doing it that way and charging thousands for that.
Thousands of dollars, right? Oh,
Worse,
Yeah.
it's
worse is
awful.
once they put your manuscript into an AI program,
If they,
all
yeah.
those AI programs use everything people feed into that for training. So then let's say you send your book later to Simon and Schuster, and they're all doing it now. They're running it through AI detectors. It's going to show that your book is 97% AI, 100% AI, 83%
Yeah.
AI, and you automatically get a direct rejection. So you have to make sure that your editor is a real person, a
Yes,
real editor.
Mhm.
exactly.
We
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
we
and the AI detectors are horrible
They're
anyway.
awful anyway.
right.
They're not reliable in any way, shape, or form, and so publishers relying on them instead of human eyeballs looking at manuscripts is then creating an additional layer of problems that I'm like, I think the odds are stacked high enough against authors as it is without stupidity added on
Right.
Yeah.
top of it. It's
We
anyway.
we work with Clayton Jones is an English professor at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, and
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
and
I love to
um,
say Chattanooga. Chattanooga.
yeah.
he teaches English, creative writing, and something else I can't recall. He's also an expert book marketer, and
Cool.
I sent him, and he's fast. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. We talk on the phone every single day about this author, that author, this book, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Do you realize you sent me 6 manuscripts to edit last week?" I went, "You better hurry up." But he's outstanding. He never uses AI. We actually had him on our podcast to talk about AI in the classroom
Oh yeah.
because,
Mm.
uh-huh.
I'm gonna have to watch that episode, because that is something that I'm interested about. Yeah, how these teachers are combating that.
Well, interesting. So we talked to him about AI. This is several weeks ago, and he explained, yeah, he catches college students using it all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
then just 3 or 4 weeks ago, we interviewed Ricky Pittman, who's also a college English professor, and
Mm-hmm.
he figured out a way. He makes all of his students write everything in first person because AI has a problem with
Ooh,
first person.
that's
Oh,
actually
Pretty brilliant, huh?
excellent.
clever.
That
Yeah,
is
learn
an
something new every day.
excellent idea.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there are things that
Clever.
AI is terrible at that I could see a number of ways where you could basically keep students from using AI, or if they did, they'd produce something absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
That's super interesting.
That is a good
I
idea.
like that.
That is a good idea. That
Yeah.
is a really good idea. I mean, I worked with hundreds of doctors every year I say worked because I fired this guy this year, but for the last 5 years, I was working with a client that he would throw me about 200 to 300 students a year of that there were um,
Their
doctors.
person.
Yeah, they were doctors
Yeah.
and they were coming from other countries, mainly India. But they were coming here to get residencies here so that they could get their medical training in the United States, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I would have to go through their personal statements and their CVs to, make sure that they were ready for this. It's really arduous process. But anyway, going through that, and last year and this year specifically, oh my gosh, those were like, it was riddled with problems because they were all using AI to write their personal statements, and they were horrible because none
Yeah.
of them were personal. So it was funny. I had to have this major conversation with like I said, my client. I tell him, I'm sorry, I'm done editing for you. First of all, you kill me every year. I'm about ready to have a heart attack. But the second thing, the second reason was because I can't continue to write the same thing over and over and over again, which is rewrite this. This is written by AI. Rewrite this. It's written by AI, and try to rewrite these things for these students because I don't know who they are. I don't know what they've been through. So there's no way I can rewrite them. So it
Oh
was
yeah.
just becoming more laborious because it was harder to decipher what needed to be strained from these. It's easier to write with a client that has English as a second language than to write with somebody who has used AI, because AI is just so generic. You have nothing to work from. So it was just awful. It was absolutely awful. But AI, I think in a lot of ways, like Troy and I said, it's kind of ruining and helping in so many different ways. Like it's just such a, like, I guess, multifaceted problem. You know?
We've heard from authors who Amazon KDP terminated their books because they were caught using AI.
Mhm.
However, Amazon is so overrun with AI fake books now, they can't even keep up.
They can't even keep up. I
Yeah,
know.
no.
And it's
Yeah.
awful. It's awful. So let me ask you this. Do you think that Amazon is actually like positioning themselves in any way to kind of make stricter rules about AI? Or do you think that they're going to change their ways? Or do you think they're just going to kind of like succumb to the surge and just let it happen?
Well, I sincerely hope that they are going to start curbing it more. However, it's such a big problem. I'm not even sure Amazon's even able to do that. We've
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
also heard from authors who used AI and the US Copyright Office won't let them copyright their book and won't
Well,
give them a
yeah.
refund for the copyright fee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've already covered that on this podcast quite a bit. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a huge copyright junkie. Um, I love it. I studied it in school, and like this is one of the reasons why I came out into this business, is because protecting IP and helping authors protect their legacies is big, big, big feather in my cap, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
that was one thing that like we've been talking about, and I've been yelling from the top of the mountaintops for years, right, Troy?
Yes.
Protect your IP, and people finally people are going, oh wait, Stacy might be right, but yeah, like it's crazy to me how little people think about it until it's too late. And
Yeah.
so yeah, you really need to, I guess, align yourself, like especially in the indie world, you need to align yourself with professionals that understand this business. It is too difficult to stay up on all of this stuff on your own, unless you choose one of these. I mean, I can't be a copy, I can't be a designer and a graphic designer and an artist full time and also be what I do for full time. Like there's just too much. So it's better to align yourself with professionals that can like be an expert
Yeah.
in those different
Niche
fields.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. So like in your case, Angela, like if you want to know where to get like the good information on people and how to keep yourself safe in this industry, go to Writers Weekly. That's what Angela does. She's looking at that stuff all the time.
Right.
So,
Also, if
Because
you
I
think
would love to mess with the scammers all day, every day, because it kind of feeds my creative writing beast too, a little bit.
absolutely, and
But
it's
nobody's paying
fun.
me to do it. I mean, I had this one, I have to tell you this story. So I had this one that like I don't know, it was just one of those kind of romance scammers. So I'm like, I'm just going back and forth because I'm having fun. They're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm hiding the bodies like you told me to. I told you not to contact me on this number. And all this other stuff. And then I have to go deliver the drugs. And she kept trying to do things like, so are you free for dinner? And all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, I told you I'm busy, and I got to go wash the blood off my hands and all this stuff. And by the end of it, the last text that I got from whatever this person was, I think something seriously bad has happened to you. And, and they gave up. But I was like, I would love to do that all day, but I just don't have time. But I love watching Angela do it. I love opening
yeah.
Facebook and going, oh, that's hilarious. Because I want to do that. A part of me wants to do that, but I just can't do that. That's not a
Yeah.
practical thing
Well,
for
One
me
of the
like
to
I
do.
said,
ones,
Angela's doing it. So follow her.
one of the
She's doing
ones.
it.
Well, two of them have their last words were to me were "fu."
Mm,
One of
common.
them said, This was a guy who's trying to get me to buy his kid a $500 Apple gift card for his birthday,
Oh,
and of course, he
Nice.
works on an oil rig. I asked him what ocean he was on. He said the ocean of Ireland. Like,
What?
there's no such thing. But he actually contacted me when it was all done because he found that I'd written about him on Facebook, and
Oh my gosh.
he said, "You're really funny. I really miss talking to you."
You know what's funny to me is how all of these romance scams, they always kind of tie back to an ocean rig somewhere. Like there's a lot of people
Yeah, they're
working
all
on an
oil
ocean
rig
rig.
workers, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
there's like 7 Keanu Reeves who are in love with me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
Oh,
Oh
man,
my
one time, so
gosh.
I had this guy call from one of the, scammer calls, and I answer it, right? And he told me his name was Abraham Lincoln. And for
Oh,
whatever reason, it ticked me off so bad that day that I argued with him for like an hour. I'm like, your name is not Abraham Lincoln. He goes, yes, it is. I'm like, your parents did not name you after the 16th president of the United States. When you're from Pakistan or somewhere, clearly you barely speak English. Your name is not Abraham Lincoln. He goes, my name is Abraham. I'm like,
Oh.
no, it's not. And
you
like
know,
I argued with him.
a lot of them use 2 first names because they don't understand
Mhm.
American
Oh,
names.
yeah.
You'll see that
Yeah.
a lot, like Richard David, Aaron
Hmm.
George, stuff like that. So,
And they
Yeah.
mix the
but
male and female ones too.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
Alyssa Jeff. Alyssa
oh
Jeff is
yeah.
that's a
hmm
great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the first
Anyway.
Well,
time yesterday, and Troy, you might have seen this on my Facebook page last night. I got a private message on Facebook from this beautiful woman, and she
oh.
said, "Hey, handsome," and I went,
Oh
"Oh."
yes, I saw that one. I was like, that's awesome.
I said, "Hey,
Hey.
beautiful."
I'm
So
like, now Angela is handsome.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
I think I've got one right now in my Instagram DMs right now where this guy who's like, "Hey," and then I don't answer him unless I don't answer him. And then there was
yeah.
another one. He was like, "How you doing today?" And I'm like, and then like he said something like, "Thanks for the info." And so then I emailed him back, or finally I answered him back and I said, "You're welcome." And he goes, "Oh, hi." And now he's like jumped all over that. And I'm
Right.
like, "Oh, for the
Oh
love, this
yeah.
is definitely a scammer."
Yeah.
But
If you
it's one of those
answer,
things. Yeah,
yeah,
they
the
just
conversation will go on for
go on
days.
forever. So I've just,
Yeah.
no, not even going there. Well, Angela, like one thing I would love to hear from you is just kind of like your mic drop moment. I would like to know, like, if there's one publishing trend right now that you think authors should be paying attention to, and that they should, maybe like something that they should absolutely avoid. What do you think that you would say? What would your mic drop moment be on that?
Here's my mantra these days. It's been it for about a year and a half now. Spammers are scammers, and I consider a spammer anybody who unsolicited email, unsolicited message on social media, contacts you through your website, or calls you on the phone. Any successful company, especially a marketing company, a lot of them claim to have marketing services.
Yeah.
They aren't using spam or cold calling or junk mail to if they have to resort to spam to promote their own company. Imagine what horrible job they're going to do with your book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good
So
call.
so avoid anybody who contacts you unsolicited in any way whatsoever. Do not respond, or you're going to get on that list that you'll never get off of. And if anybody is wondering if they're being scammed or if they're about to be scammed, if you go to writersweekly.com, click on the contact us link at the top, that goes right to me. And again, I don't
Awesome.
charge authors anything to help them because it's so much fun. It's the best part of my job.
That is awesome. I
Love it.
love
I
that so
absolutely
much. I
love it.
love it.
Oh,
Love it. Well,
oh.
Angela, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So yeah, go if you do have any questions, that's going to be my first bit of advice. Go to Writers Weekly. She's probably written an article about it, or she can get you the right information or the right person to be in contact with. I
Sure.
absolutely love it. Also, could you tell a little bit about what about Book Locker? Could you tell me just a little bit about that so our followers know who that is and what you
Yeah,
guys do over there?
our homepage is actually our bookstore, booklocker.com. If you're interested in getting your book published, go to publishing.booklocker.com. And there's also a link up there called Ask Angela. All those go to me as well. And I'm the
Mm-hmm.
president and CEO, but I get, questions from authors all day long. And some of them, they're using different publisher. They just have a question about book publishing. Sometimes I talk way too fast.
No, it's okay. We
And
get it.
I can blah, blah, blah. Um, And we've got our prices on there.
Perfect.
We've never asked authors for testimonials, but they send them in all the time. We've got those. Better Business Bureau, we've got all 5-star reviews.
Yay.
And again, we're in our 27th year, have an excellent reputation.
Congratulations.
We're not in Pakistan, Nigeria, China, or the Philippines. We're in
Yeah.
Trenton, Georgia.
Trenton,
USA.
Georgia. We're
Trenton, Georgia,
US
USA.
Brown and
Yep.
Bride.
Right.
Yeah. That's the
That's
toughest job in the world right now, is to actually be a Nigerian prince who actually has money to give away.
Yeah.
You're never going to get
You're
it.
never going to give that money away. So
You're
sorry.
never going to give it away.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks again for joining us today, Angela. It's been a real treat and a pleasure.
Well,
I'd love to have you
tell
back one of these days.
This is the funnest podcast interview I've ever had. Y'all are great. Y'all are hilarious.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you had fun. And we're welcome back anytime. I would love to have you.
Yeah, and when it goes up, send me the link and we'll promote it all on all our stuff too. So
absolutely, definitely will. And yeah, everybody, if you, like you said, we'll put all the links below in the description. So if you want to check out Angela and all her antics, you can do that. We really appreciate you, Angela. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
you guys
you.
have a nice night.
You too.
Take care. You too.